Hey pet lovers, this is Liana with Wet Noses Pet Sitting. So I am here today with our daily Facebook Live to give you a little bit of social contact and talk about something to do with animals. One of my cats is sitting in the chair next to me, so of course I'm awkwardly shoved off to the side so I don't disturb him like any good cat mom would be. So I'm gonna go through. I picked out my 7 favorite books and I actually happen to own all of them. I have all of them here in my house, except for one that I couldn't find, so I might actually just talk about that one first. Now, we're all stuck in our homes. These are all books that you can either order, preferably from your local bookstore, because we should all be supporting local business as much as possible right now. So look at ordering these from someplace local, or getting them as an ebook or something, whatever works for you. But there's only so much Netflix that we can all watch, and I am a fan of Netflix, but you can only watch so much television before you go crazy. You gotta do something else. And this is a great time to be a little bit educational and learn a little bit something more. So the first book on my list is one of my classic favorites, and that's probably why I don't have it here. I have actually all of my books sitting under the shelf that my phone is sitting on right now to record. All of my animal books are down here and I can't find it, and I find that very disappointing. But it is a book called The Other End of the Leash by Patricia McConnell. And it has been out for many years. It's a fantastic book. It's one of the first books that I ever read when I really started working with animals. And it is all about how to view things from a dog's perspective. She is a very well-known dog trainer behaviorist, so I really recommend taking a look at that. She has written a lot of other amazing books as well, but that one in particular is my favorite. So The Other End of the Leash by Patricia McConnell. And I will also be doing a blog a little bit later today and listing all of these out, so if you don't want to remember them, that's okay. Just check out our blog when I put it up. It'll be a couple hours from now, but let me grab my whole stack actually. I did some that were educational and learning and some that were just fun. So, but you can get something out of each of them. Animals in Translation. This might be backwards, but if you have not read this, this is of course by our local author Temple Grandin, who works at CSU, and this is all also about how animal perspectives works and how we can look at the world in a way that makes more sense so that we can better understand our pets. This is a great one. You can also, when all of this has cleared up, she does signings all over town all the time. So I really recommend reading her book. Any of her books are great, but this one is particularly fantastic. If you have a cat that might have behavior problems or just curious about cat behavior, this is a fantastic one. This is called Starting from Scratch, and it's by Pam Johnson-Benet. You can find her information online. She is a fantastic cat behaviorist, and she has written amazing books. This one specifically addresses a lot of different things. I thought I knew a lot about cat behavior until I read this book, and now I feel like I know a little bit more about cat behavior than I did before, and I still reference it every time I am working with a cat that's got a behavior issue that I'm kind of at a loss for. So I really recommend this. It's very good. Starting from Scratch by Pam Johnson-Benet. Another one in the cat realm. I know I've talked about this before, and yesterday I talked about considering fostering if you have never done so before. This is not kitten season that we're in right now, but this was an amazing book, and it was way more involved than I anticipated it would be. This really, I learned more from this book than I've learned from a book in a long time. This is called Tiny But Mighty by Hannah Shaw, who is the kitten lady, and some of you may have seen her pictures of her kittens online. This is obviously a very intense book, and it's all about how to foster and raise kittens. So if you are thinking about fostering, or just are curious about how all that process works and about fostering young kittens, it's an amazing book. And it has, oh, that's a terrible example, but it's got endless darling kitten pictures. So it's fun for that reason alone. So definitely worth reading. Another classic is Culture Clash, and this is by Jean Donaldson. This is actually, I think, one of the original copies. The cover looks different now, which just, I think, ages me. But This is all about understanding how dogs think and interact with the world differently than as humans, and how we can work better with them. So this is a fantastically amazing book. I really, really enjoy it. It's a pretty fast read as well. It's not terribly complicated. She does a lot of other books as well, Jane Donaldson. She's done smaller books on dogs' resource guarding issues and dog aggression, all sorts of things. So she has these individualized little books that are amazing that I also highly recommend. So definitely take a look at those. I'm just looking to see if I can't find that other book. It really bothers me that I can't find it, but I looked everywhere a few times. It's just one of those things that's going to bother me. I should just go buy another copy. Must have loaned it to someone. And now I have 2 recommendations for books that are a little bit more feel-good. If you are just struggling right now, it is a very stressful time. I completely recognize that, and maybe you just want something a little bit lighter. This Murmur Store is one of my favorites, and it's all about this man talking about his dog who gets to basically roam free in the town that he lives in, and lessons that he learned from him and his interactions with the villagers, and basically about his life as an independent dog. Not just so many of our dogs these days, their entire life structure is built around what we are doing and what our life is, and this takes a very different perspective, and I really, really appreciated that. So it's a great dog, and it's a great book, and I don't think it's been read nearly enough. And my last recommendation, last but not least, is anything by James Herriot, which is James Herriot. I read, I think, pretty much everything by him growing up. I love the stuff. I do feel like you learn something from every story that he has, but also they are just very nice, feel-good, animal caring stories. And I think right now, at this day and age, things that are feel-good are really things we should probably add into our lives. So if you're just looking for some really good stories, this is anything by James Herriot is fantastic. You can find them in all sorts of different formats these days. You can probably even find a bunch of them online for free to read. Highly recommend them. Get your hands on some of them. And those are my recommendations. So that's my top 7 books, and I've read a lot of animal books over the years. So definitely get your hands on some of those. If you want some more recommendations, let me know. If you want more ideas for the future, for future videos, let me know that as well, because I am working on my planning. We do not see an end to this whole coronavirus deal in sight. So I will be doing a video every day, and we are all going to get through this together. It's gonna be a rough few weeks, I think, but it's gonna be great, and we're gonna might as well make the best of it, right? By getting some good reading and stuff done. So definitely check those out, and let me know your recommendations. If there is a book that you love that I have not listed, go ahead and let me know, and I will look at amending my list to make it longer. So if there are some good things out there. Thanks everybody. Have a wonderful day, and say hello to your pets from us.